Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. Great article here by Yahoo Finance. I'll leave a link to it in the description so you guys can check it out. So with everything going on with T-Mobile heavily spending on its network and mid-band widely deployed, with Verizon now at 270 million pops and their C-band widely deployed from a wireless perspective, a lot of people are asking what's happening, what's going on at AT&T? Why isn't AT&T as engaged on the wireless side? How come we don't really see the aggression and them spending as heavily on not just the mid-band deployment, but further densification? They have shied away from the densification, although we're now seeing more of that work happening throughout LTE. They really shied away from it for several reasons, right? They were buying media. They spent tons and tons and tons of money on that. So they didn't have the capital readily available to just spend for densification. So AT&T aims to use all tools at hand to maintain U.S. fiber lead. So for those of you who have been following the channel for some time and who have been watching my content, I've been very adamant about AT&T and them making fiber more of a priority, big time, right? The 60-40 CapEx split, 60% going to fiber, 40 to wireless. That's likely going to be increased even further, just because AT&T wants to at least maintain its fiber lead because they know they're behind on wireless. So in a U.S. consumer service space bracing for a wave of fiber M&A deal activity, one thing has become abundantly clear: AT&T has zero intent of standing pat while rivals Verizon and T-Mobile spend freely to close the gap on its lead in the fiber space. Looks like they may have spelled fiber wrong, but so yes, that's exactly what AT&T is monitoring. They already fully understand that they're not going to build the network similar. AT&T doesn't have a need to because they don't want to do the FWA, right? As big and as at the grand scale that T-Mobile and Verizon are doing it. But I would still like to see some form of densification make its way onto the wireless network. But now AT&T is sitting back and they're saying, look, we have this going on in wireless. We're doing the Ericsson conversions. We're going O-RAN. We're spending money on that. And we are starting to see our rivals, our competitors, buying up fiber. T-Mobile is doing it with the JV players. Verizon is doing it with Frontier. Verizon has been expanding fiber natively with Fios, but now they're getting Frontier. So now all of a sudden, they're a bigger threat. The entire issue with this that AT&T is having, and I heard this on an internal town hall, and T-Mobile stated this recently as well. So this is really nothing new. But when you have that fiber asset deployed, it's a very expensive rollout. So you want to make that a return on investment, and you want to be sure that you can get customers, right? So you want to be the first to the areas that you're deploying in. You don't want to go to an area that already has 3 or 4 fiber players. So that's what AT&T is looking at, right? They're saying, oh man, T-Mobile is now getting JV players. So they're going to some of the areas first that we had planned to go to. So now AT&T is pivoting and saying, hey, we're going to go to these areas, that area, this area. And they recently signed a new multi-year contract with Corning, $1 billion+ to get more fiber. And same with Verizon, right? Verizon is moving into these areas with Frontier, where AT&T may be the second option. And now there's another wireless player, because remember, Frontier doesn't have any mobile service to attach to their product. So now there's another fiber player that can do wireless. So more competition, right? And AT&T is looking at that. So they want to make sure that they can maintain their lead. So in recent comments made by AT&T's highest ranking executives, hadn't managed to erase any doubts on this score. The company's issued another trumpet blast this week via a newly expanded $1 billion+ purchase agreement with U.S. fiber optic vendor Corning, as we just discussed. It is noteworthy noteworthy that AT&T's expanded agreement with Corning comes just a month after Lumen announced that it was securing 10% of Corning's global fiber capacity for 2 years. The fact that this was Lumen's largest fiber optic cable purchase ever underscores just how much the US fiber space is heating up. So again, Lumen is also another AT&T competitor, right? From a competitor perspective, I was mostly referring to Verizon and T-Mobile because they're in the wireless space. But AT&T, since they do broadband, they also have to look at Lumen and everyone else that does fiber, and they have to look at the whole landscape all in one. So T-Mobile and Verizon are now attacking them with more fiber plays. Lumen is getting more aggressive. So the competition is heating up, right? And cable could at any time decide, hey, look, we're no longer going to do DOCSIS. We're no longer going to do coax. We're just going to go straight to fiber. It's possible, right? It's a possibility. Not saying that will happen, but it is a very strong possibility that could happen, and that plays into AT&T and its competition, right? AT&T is a wireless company. Yes, that is still their bread and butter. That's not going anywhere. But I'm telling you guys, and I said this in previous videos, they are very, very, very focused on prioritizing fiber, right? I don't know how aggressively that gets in the future. We'll keep track of that, of course. I don't know if they go after a bigger fiber player themselves, like a Lumen, right? It's possible that AT&T can do that, but they're looking to maintain their lead. And it sounds like they want to guard that jealously. So I don't know what kind of sporadic moves that could come about that, right? Maybe they, again, like Lumen, hey, boom, here's 50 billion, let's buy Lumen, right? I'm not saying that's gonna happen. I'm just saying that could be like a move that AT&T could make to really solidify that leadership. Because right now it's heating up and they're feeling it, right? AT&T's feeling it. Although they still grew 226,000 fiber subs, but eventually they're going to have to compete back even more. And that could possibly present, additional promos, price cuts perhaps. FWA is coming in bigger waves, more fiber players. There's just a lot of competition in the fiber space. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe if you're new. Follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. See y'all in the next one. Peace.